Hey, John.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What are we doing here on Art This?
Well, this is our first show of this season, our third show total.
Yes.
And today on Art This, we have a live studio audience, which is very exciting.
Fantastic. Give yourself a big hand.
Very exciting.
It's history.
That's right. And we have an in-studio guest today and a package guest today. I will be featuring Jennifer Rice in a video package, but first, why don't you tell the people about what we're going to have in studio?
Yes, in studio, more MSU TV history, ladies and gentlemen. For our live audience and you out there, Sammy Lowe, ventriloquist, will be with us in the studio. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. And I'll feature Jennifer Rice, who is a faculty member in the Department of Art and Design, and will showcasing some of her unique textile work that involves knitting and special different types of media. And Jennifer's a really interesting lady. She was the winner of the 2013 Distinguished Faculty Service Award here at Morehead State. And we'll talk to her. We'll roll that right now.
Jennifer Rice, I'm the gallery director at Morehead State University, and I also teach and coordinate the arts administration minor. Well, I categorize what I do as collage or assemblage, but instead of bits of magazine or photographs, I'm using fabric and beads and found objects, and it's all hand stitched. And I use anything from your typical traditional fabric applique. I also stitch down things like aluminum cans, paper dolls, really anything that I can work with that I'm interested in integrating. I usually can find a way to do so. Well, I've always sewn and just experimented with that from being pretty young. But when I went to art school, I focused more on printmaking, painting, and drawing because it was a pretty traditional program. When I got out of when I started to go into graduate school at Syracuse University, it was an academic program, and so I wasn't taking art classes, so I taught myself how to knit. And actually started doing a little sculptural knitting. This was like in 1997 or so. And then actually when I moved to Morehead, I started thinking of them as collages and wall hangings, that I could take my interest in embroidery and applique, beading, quilting, and I could actually make something that's going to hang on the wall and also be pretty narrative, so there's going to be a story in there too. I'm primarily self-taught. I took one pretty short class with a well-known art quilter named Susan Shy, who's up in Worcester, Ohio. And then, it was getting books out from the library, experimenting. My attitude towards this is kind of like my attitude towards gardening. You're not going to lose much if you experiment, and that's fine. And if it goes well, that's great. If it doesn't, then you try something different. One of the reasons I think I've stuck with using this media is because I'm always learning, and I teach a lot of classes in the handworked embroidery and embellishment, and a lot of times I pick up sort of tips or new ways of doing things from my students too. So that's if I felt like I had it mastered and figured out, then I'd be on to the next thing, because it would get pretty boring. Actually, I tend to exhibit more out of the region. I think that partially that has to do with my subject matter. It also has to do with venues. I exhibit a lot in national and international juried exhibitions. That's not only important for me to be participating in that, but it's also a way for me to build my resume, and also helps me get more of a following for the classes. So it all sort of fits in together like that. Because I'm an Al Smith recipient through the Kentucky Arts Council, I do participate in some of their shows that they have that are invitational based on the fellows. And my friend Elizabeth Mesagaido and I are currently in a 3-person show at the Lexington Living Arts and Science Center. And I do have to say that Lexington, both the Living Arts and Science Center and the Lexington Art League have been really supportive and have put me in quite a number of shows. So I think regionally, that's where I've shown the most. Well, currently, because it does sort of, there's themes that run in my work. For a long period of time, I was really focused on animals, so you'd see a lot of deer, birds. Now, when there's birds or wildlife, they're usually chickens because we have a bunch in the backyard. But now I'm starting to work on a series with paper dolls that I found at our at the Old Schoolhouse Antique Mall, and I just sew those directly on. You don't have to do anything to them. So in that case, you know, the materials themselves have been pretty inspiring. You know, sort of take this and go, you know, what could I do to her, you know, to make it pretty interesting. And so some of those pieces, which are brand new, are at the Lexington Living Arts and Science Center. I think that when people look at my body of work, they're going to see a lot of work that deals with sort of the Appalachian pastoral, and the pastoral being where sort of rural concepts and religion you know, kind of interface, and then the other is sort of the female persona. And there are some pieces that those issues overlap. So right now, for some reason, my work is with the paper dolls. It's much more sort of the feminine persona, and I'm sure it will continue to sort of migrate around. Well, when I talk to our art and design students, especially in capstone, one of the bits of advice or sort of opportunities for reflection that I tell them is, you know, think if you had a day to yourself where you had enough resources to do the things that you wanted to do, that you're self-motivated to do, and think of sort of those 3 things. And if art or design is not one of those 3 things, you may want to choose a different career path, because I find that the people who continue to crank out work are people who are very internally motivated, because, you know, not everything is going to be a success story. Not every piece is going to work. You're not going to get into every show you apply to. There have been times where being tenacious is very important for me. Places that have sort of ignored me, or I've gotten a rejection letter, they, you know, suddenly 3-5 years later, you know, you'll get an acceptance letter, you'll get an invitation to teach there. So I think that's a really good thing. Matt Collinsworth, the director at the Kentucky Folk Arts Center, he speaks to my arts admin class, and he gave them a very good bit of advice, because you've got theater students, art students, music students, and he said just because someone or an institution rejects you, you should not reject them. And that was in the context of talking about grant seeking, but I thought, well, that's a really smart thing, because you need to know that as an artist when you're looking for venues for your work, opportunities to make money, and you just have to keep pushing it, because eventually you will be successful however you would like to define success, if you keep working at it. But it's got to be that, you know, every day I'm in the studio, or I'm in the studio 3 times a week during this period, and it doesn't matter if I'm just in there to clean the studio. I find that when I get stuck creatively, if I go ahead and go, okay, you have to be in there for 2 hours, it doesn't matter what you're doing in there. And once I'm in it and I'm just sort of moving things around and straightening stuff up, then it'll sort of slide into actually making something.
All right, thank you all. That was Jennifer Rice. Let me give you a little background information on Jennifer. Of course, you saw Jennifer's great work with textiles and other sewing forms of different mediums that she puts together. Jennifer has a pretty good pedigree. Let me give her a little few props here. I mentioned earlier in the show she was the winner of the 2013 Distinguished Faculty Service Award here at Morehead State University for her years of teaching faculty in the classroom and service to the university. She's also the recipient of the prestigious, get that, prestigious Al Smith Fellowship from the Kentucky Arts Council. And a couple places you can see her. She has a website, JenniferARice.com, so check that out. She also has a link to her Etsy site where you can buy some of her work that you saw there that she featured. Another place is on Thursdays throughout the fall. She will be at the Fuzzy Duck and Coffee Tree Books every Thursday teaching a knitting class called Twisted Thread Thursdays. Also, she is currently featured along with fellow Department of Art and Design faculty member Elizabeth May Sagaido in a show in Lexington at the Living Art and Science Center titled Undivided Attention, 3 Distinct Voices in Contemporary Fiber. That'll run through October. Jennifer is a great service to this university in our area, and check out her art very uniquely. We'll be right back, right after this.
It never gets old, huh?
Nope.
It kind of makes you wanna...
Breaking the song?
Yup. I love the sunset.
I love Eagle Lake.
I love the forest. I love when eagles play.
I love the campus!
And all its sights and sounds.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
I love philosophy.
We love diversity. I love English.
And all its weird words.
I love the music.
And all its melodies. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
I love fraternities.
I love sororities.
I love to draw things.
And all the athletes.
I love Morehead.
It's such a pretty place.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
There, I'm Bucky, the beacon of justice. I'm glad you noticed the beauty of Eagle Lake, from our tranquil waters to our scenic nature trails. Just bear in mind we're closed from dusk till dawn. That way you can enjoy the luxuries of Eagle Lake and avoid tragic consequence.
Okay, Pharaoh, I think we're ready to start the show. Excuse me. I am the Pharaoh, and I say when you start the show. But this is a ventriloquist show, and I thought since I'm a ventriloquist, I could actually start. No. But there. Did I say start? Well, no, but I. Nope. I'm starting to look stupid. Okay, the Pharaoh has declared. You can start the show now. Thank you. What's wrong? Camel got your tongue? Camel? It's an old Pharaoh joke. I forgot my lines. What? Well, I had this all set up and you threw me off track and now I don't remember my lines. Well, at least you remember yours, don't you? Yeah. What? He's an idiot. Okay, so where do we go? What were we supposed to do? Oh, this is a show to explain ventriloquism. And you are the royal ventriloquist. Oh, I'm supposed to introduce the Pharaoh. Yeah, okay. Everybody, this is the great Pharaoh, Pharaoh Montes. You call that an introduction? Well, you've completely messed up my show. So, actually, what is ventriloquism? Remember the 3 rules. Rule number 1, when I talk, your mouth does not move. Okay, I got that. Rule number 2, pay attention. Rule number 2, when I talk, no lips move at all. Okay, we got that. You can't move the mouth. You don't say a word, we don't say a word. Rule number 3, most important. When we get into an argument, you always lose. Understand? Wait a minute. But what if I'm actually right? It doesn't matter. Do you understand what it's like to always lose the argument? To always lose an argument even if I'm right. Yes, I've been married 9 years. So this is the great Pharaoh Montes, and he wanted to explain just a little about what ventriloquism is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The next guy that I'm going to bring out is the one character that my wife says most closely resembles my own personality. So would you welcome to the stage Damon. Yeah, now we're ready to start the show, get this party started. Woohoo! Yeah! Do you even know where we are? Yes, we're, I don't know, see, dark room? I think I know you are too. Hey, I know! Are we back in hell? No, this isn't hell. This is Moorhead, Kentucky. Well, that's close enough. See, I can tell jokes too. No. Okay, so now remember, there are students here. Oh, that's wonderful. I had advice for those guys. You have advice for the students? Yeah, of course. All right, we see a few single guys here in the audience. What's your advice for them? Oh, do not marry a Kardashian. None of you are Kardashians. I don't care. Well, what about some people here who are already married? Oh, it's too late for those guys. See some single ladies in the audience. What's your advice for them? Oh, see me after the show. Yeah! I don't know why I even brought you today, Damon. Oh, it's because I have a special meeting here today. A special meeting here? Was it with anybody that we might know? Yes, Dr. John Modaff. Dr. John Modaff? So, are you and the doctor good friends? No, it's strictly business. Strictly business? I'm here to collect a debt. Collect a debt? Oh, dear God. What God is he here? Oh, no. Sorry. You lost your horns. You scared the hell out of me. I didn't know I could do that. Hey, look, that's just a figure of speech. Why don't you just relax and be yourself? Yeah, that's not like it. Okay, so now that we got that taken care of, you're here to meet Dr. Modaff. Yes! Is that the only thing you're here for? No, I'm here to talk to you, Sammy. Well, why are you here to talk to me? I made you a promise. Oh, yeah, a promise. You said if I would bring you on this show today with me, you would make me a world-famous ventriloquist. Yes! I have an idea about that. I know. You could be the official ventriloquist in hell. In hell? I am not going to hell as a ventriloquist. Oh, come on! We love your face. Well, why do you love my face? It just looks like hell. Listen, if you need a ventriloquist in hell, you'll have to do it yourself. I can't. You can't? Well, why not? I am about to retire. The devil. So when a devil retires, what does he get into? Politics. Well, I believe you'll fit right in with our politicians there. So that's our show. May God bless. And I hope to see you all in hell. Hey, no, get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Right This to talk to Sammy and his friends. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We're back here on Art This Show number 3 with Sammy Lowe, ventriloquist. Let me tell you a little bit about Sammy and his friend before I start asking them some questions. Sammy's a Kentucky native. He is self-taught in ventriloquism. He builds his own figures. He's performed, are you ready for this, at the Thompson House, the Rose Opera House, the Funny Bone, Go Bananas, Comedy Off-Broadway, and twice at the International Ventriloquist Convention.
Yeah,
Welcome,
that was good.
Sammy Lowe and friends.
Yeah.
All right, Sammy. Good to see you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sammy, I've been reading about ventriloquists, and I enjoy them tremendously.
You read?
But I guess, I guess that they're famous for split personality and maybe some disorders that can develop. How do you fight against the pending schizophrenia that is in your future?
Well, my wife said this really fits me just perfectly. And actually, she's worried that he's really going to hell as a ventriloquist. Yeah. He wasn't talking to you. It's my turn.
Well, so you got it under control.
I'm working. No, not really. No. He goes to bed thinking of that stuff. He talks to himself. It's ridiculous. He needs a therapist.
Very good. I'll do my best to provide services to both of you along the way in the interview tonight.
No.
What's going
He's your
on? That
ventriloquist.
looks a little uncomfortable back here, though. What's happening with the hand in the back? Just exactly what are you doing back there inside? Could you show our audience? Could you open up the coat and let us see inside there?
No, don't do it. Don't do it. No.
This is where Art This goes where other shows
That's
won't
child
go.
abuse.
That's devil abuse. I am going to photograph your back, sir, not your backside. If you could just show us what really goes on back there.
Is this pornography?
Can we? Can we see the magic?
No. This is ridiculous.
You've heard of the man behind the curtain. This is the hand behind the jacket. All right, so we have film of that. I still don't know what goes on back there. It looks really painful. Well, what's next for you, Sammy? You're friends with the Pharaoh. You're friends with a friend of the devil. What's going on for you next? Have you got a figure in your future?
No, I'm the only one. We're getting rid of the Pharaoh. Well, I'm actually working on a couple of other ideas. Oh, they're going to hell. Forget that. Actually, I would like to add a couple others to the routine. Oh, we're getting even. Oh, no, you would like them. I don't think so. I had thought about bringing your girlfriend into the routine. Oh, you should see her. She's good looking. Yeah. Can you tell him her name? Her name is Angelica.
Oh, jeez. I don't believe that for a minute.
Oh, it is?
Liar. All right. Sammy, this has been a blast. I really appreciate you coming
This
in.
has been one hell of a show.
And
yeah.
let's hear it for Sammy Lowe and Damon. All right. Welcome back to Art This Show number 3. That's a wrap. Sammy Lowe, how about it? Wasn't he fantastic?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Sammy. And if you're interested in learning more about Sammy Lowe, you can go to sammylowe.com. That website will be up shortly on sammylowe.com. Well, we have another show coming up.
We do.
AT number 4 in early November.
That's right.
Who have you got?
I went out and found, for the Art This audience, a very unique blues band that plays throughout the central and eastern Kentucky region by the name of Sun Street. They'll be live here in studio, and I've talked them into jamming with us on our opening.
Or on the closing tune, anyway. Yeah. They can listen to the opening and decide if they want to jam with us at the end.
If it's good enough for them.
That could be why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a good band. And also, we will have a field package with Pat Duvall, who is a musician, songwriter, and watercolorist. So we will get to see him making work and review some of his works and listen to his music and talk to him about how he makes all that happen. And that's early November on Art This.
Right.
It's been a good show.
It has been a good show.
Great crew.
That's right.
Great audience.
Great audience. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you to the audience.
I think it's time to take it out of here.
I think so. Let's do it. 2, 3.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.